Does Cocodona deserve all the hype?
Trying to think of any reason why I would say no. It's pretty cool.
Because it gets all the love. They own an entire week.
They do a really good job of making it look so exciting.
Made for TV. The TV is like, this is cool. This is entertaining.
That's a credit to them.
Yeah.
But it's not that much different from any ultra I've been to.
Welcome back to the next aid station. I am your host, Jake Kilgore, alongside my partner, Mick Garrison.
Oh, wow. What a start. So much to go over today.
Yes. So.
My partner.
Yeah. There were a lot of phrases on the live stream that we were just cringing at. And what's funny is we actually are terrible at pronouncing people's names. Over the years on this pod, we've just wrecked people's last names.
Yeah.
And then we hear someone else do it, and we're like, you don't even know.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
Schubertus.
And Trickin. Rachel and Trickin. Who knows? Maybe we're just all...
We have been... You're right. I'm glad you pointed the finger at us first.
Oh, yeah. We suck. I am terrible.
But I just own it that I'm like, I don't know. I'm not running scholar guy. That's their job.
But then you...
So they're supposed to know this.
But are they?
Yes.
Like, they're just... I think they're just volunteering on the to the live stream.
Okay. There are some podcast and live stream... Mountain Outpost that are like the
pinnacle, the standard.
They are the standard.
We're certainly not media guys. We don't even give proper stats. We mess up every week, but we're just having fun. We're like just two dudes chatting and don't take anything we say as truth.
It's a global sport and the names are kind of wild. It's hard. Like I am just teasing. I don't expect them to know.
Around.
I don't expect them to know all the names, but some of them are hard. Harry Schubertus.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone thinks it's a It could be.
You know, it's going to be so funny when it turns out that it is.
Yeah, that's why I'm like...
Lauren's going to text me and be like, it is Schubertus.
It is Mick Garrison. It's fine. Welcome to the next aid station. This is the Rockstar. I'm going to crack this open. That was kind of tough out there pacing. I didn't have a Rockstar.
No.
And when you crewed me
while
pacing, you didn't bring me a Rockstar. That was rude.
You called me out on that.
I did.
I'm like, I'm here for L.
Yeah, but what about me?
You're a chump. You're just a pacer.
I know. We have a lot to cover. In fact, I had multiple things on our agenda today, and I wiped out a number of them. And we're just going all in, balls deep on Cocodona recap.
Okay.
It's exactly 11 o'clock Mountain Time, 10 o'clock Arizona time, which means the race has been going for 77 hours.
Ugh.
It's crazy. It started at 5 a.m. Monday. We worked all day here in Utah at our office. Flew down. Saw people at Whiskey Row at mile 78. We got to Whiskey Row at 9 p.m. and we saw everyone but the first couple runners. We missed Harry. We missed Courtney. We missed Ryan. And I think we missed
There was more
Dan.
than that.
We only missed 3 or 4. Bro, we saw DJ.
How do you say his name?
Pau Gasol.
Pau?
Yeah.
We didn't see him.
We missed Pau.
We saw Finn. We saw Max.
We saw Eder.
We saw Jack.
And Jack. Yeah, we saw. We just barely missed Mike McKnight. So we saw runners like 6 through 10 roughly at the time.
That was fun. That was cool.
So, and then we paced for almost 2 days, day and a half. And then we flew home. And then we slept in our own beds Wednesday night. And here we are Thursday morning. And they're still going. We've done all of that, and they're still going, dude.
I know. It's mean.
That face right there. If anyone can see Mick's face, that has been your face for 4 days.
I don't get it.
You're just.
It's the section where Fane Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
It was pouring rain, lightning, a little mini tornado coming through, mud, just like 2 to 3 inches of mud on the bottom of the runner's shoes.
Dude.
And they're like, "Okay, now go climb Mingus."
So our experience.
Never mind the lightning. I'm like, what the hell?
I think that, to me, well, we'll get to the top stories of the race so far. But so far, as we're listening to this, and the race is still running live, 9 finishers. So we've got another 250, 200 plus more runners that are still going to finish this race. We're only 9 finishers deep, and we're just going to shoot our recap episode right now. Ain't nobody got time to wait till next Tuesday when it finishes. I don't know when it finishes. I think it finishes Friday. 125 hours.
Oh. Okay, let's
do
it.
I have 3 things that I start the episodes off with. 3 things that I learned over the weekend, which is kind of not really a weekend. Today is Thursday. I thought you were going to take your shoes off and just get comfortable.
Let's go.
You were scratching your ankle like you were a grasshopper. You're just...
It was itchy.
So here's my first thing. I don't really like the phrase hot take, but I've noticed it's
Why?
a thing. I don't know. Hot take.
I'm down.
I know. I it's fine. I just don't use it, but I'm going to use it right now.
Gets my attention.
Hot take.
Oh, shit.
See? Hot take. The DC Peaks Rockstar Gold Rush Challenge.
Yes.
Today was day 2.
Mm-hmm.
It is placed in the mountain, and I'm going to give the clue. But I do have a can for those watching. This is what it looks like. The can and what's it called? The ticket color change.
Okay.
From week to week. But here's a nice example of that. Hot take is this. DC Peaks will sell out before all 16 free tickets have been placed. I'm going to place one in the mountains, one a week for for 16 weeks straight. So for 14 more weeks. My hot take is I don't even have to place all 16 because we will sell out and I won't have room for free tickets. What do you think about that, Mick?
Do you want me to go marketing guy or tell you the truth?
Lie to me.
Yes, bro. We will for sure sell out.
Why is marketing a lie immediately?
Because it's like you create urgency. This is going to... It's like fighters at the end of a fight that was close. They both put their hands up like, I won.
And the one guy's like, he knows he lost.
Yeah, but you're really getting into the judge's head, and you're like, I won. And they're like, oh, yeah, look at that.
He thinks he won. Should I change my score?
Yeah, I'm down. That'd be sweet. I don't think we're going to sell out.
Okay. I think you're wrong.
All 3 races,
marketing aside,
all 3 distances combined?
Yeah, that's how you sell out our race.
But
That is how what is the definition of selling out? DC Peak selling out. We have 3 race distances.
350 runners at the 50-mile distance, and we don't do the 25K or 55K anymore.
Okay, well, see you in 2026 or 2027. In 2025, we have 3 race distances, and the U.S. Forest Service, bless their heart and soul, have allowed us 350 runners in all 3 races combined. I am saying we will get to 350 runners and have to stop giving out free rock stars. I'm just calling it, dude.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
That's your hot take.
Hot take.
So what am I supposed to do? Cheer against you?
Sounds like you are.
No, I refuse.
Okay.
I don't.
You just disagree, but that's fine.
It's like if I said, hey, man, I'm signing up for Wasatch, and I'm going to podium. No, you're not.
I don't think that is a fair analogy.
You're not going to podium, Mick. Neither are we going to sell out.
Well, I don't even care who you pick on any podium because you didn't pick Rachel Enticknap.
Enticknap?
Enticknap. Enticknap.
Yeah.
Fine.
Can we talk about her for a second?
Nope.
Okay.
I have 2 more things I'd like to discuss, and then we will get
Just
to
so
Cocodona.
everyone knows, the format of this podcast is that Jake decides what we're going to talk about. He researches stuff during the week, listens to podcasts, follows the news. I just live my life. And then he will hit me with hot takes. So you get my real natural reaction. Like, this is not scripted. So if he hits me with something and puts me on the spot, it makes it a little more fun. So sorry, sir. Hit us with the second thing you would like to talk about.
Thank
Host.
you. Respect. You like to say that, well, you said last year that 200s were a fad. And that 200s are like CrossFit.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fad, and it's going to be all hyped.
Yeah.
And then it's going away, dude. So on Cocodona 250 week, my first question is the 200 still a fad to Mick that's going away? And then I have a second follow-up.
Well, it might be an oligopoly.
Wow. It's a word.
It's like you got Destination Trails, you got Cocodona 250, and
A few others.
The other ones don't really seem to catch on and crush it.
I mean, last I looked, the Mammoth had like 16 runners.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they're still pending permits. Mike McKnight and Ben Knight, theirs is postponed because of permits. I think no one's no new races are going to get permits this year. So
is registration open?
I think, yeah.
Okay, then the permits don't matter. Every race gets a permit like the week before. Yeah.
But you can sign up for Mammoth right now, and no one's signing up. That is fair to say. Last I saw, and maybe there's 20 now. I don't know. But it was literally 16.
So it's
a couple
like
weeks ago.
So I don't know. Like the top 200s, like Cocodona's awesome, and it's not going
Destination
anywhere.
Trails,
Yeah.
all 4 of their races,
Yeah.
and Cocodona sell out or lottery within days.
Yes. So doesn't seem like they're going anywhere, but I'm like, why do those other ones struggle so much? They're like, nah, I want to go do one of these big dogs.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a combo?
Okay. You're hedging.
Yeah.
Not a fad is what I'm hearing.
They have
Well.
200 people on the wait list for Mammoth, but they're not permitting them until approved. So there's 200.
Okay.
200, that's a lot.
Okay. So I'm very wrong at 16. So I swear I saw 16 entrants.
There's 16 entrants, but I think they would get tickets.
Okay.
Athletes.
So
This
they're
is
gonna-
Tolson's race?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and a big name like that.
And Sally did a whole documentary
he can
on it.
he can draw. They're big names.
Well,
They
the
can
Mammoth
draw
Trail
people.
Fest is like one of the biggest trail fests in America now.
Well, 200 people on the wait list. That's nice.
Yeah, which
That's
means
something.
they're going to, if they get permitted, they'll just put them in, charge their credit cards. That's how that'll work. So they'll sell out, but from what the U.S. Forest Service is telling nearly everyone, they're issuing no new permits to new races this year due to staffing concerns and staffing issues. So Mammoth might be another year, which would suck, but is also fine. I'd like to see it happen. That could be a really, really cool
Okay,
race.
so it's probably
Not a fan.
it's probably that I was wrong, but we'll see.
Wow. Okay. The second follow-up to that is, you know what I think is a fad? I think that what you see on Instagram all the time, the last 2 years, it's so annoying to me. The cold plunge sauna guy. Cold plunge, video, picture, sauna. These influencers are getting like free saunas in their backyard, and they're just like selfieing in the sauna. 140 degrees in here, or whatever it is. Probably not 100. That'd be really hot. And I'm watching it like, I'm sure there's real medical, great athletic recovery to the cold plunge and to the sauna. But I feel like this is a fad that will be gone in the next few years.
Ooh.
It will be gone.
You've attacked cold plunging before.
And it's great for your body, I'm sure. I've read up on it. But it's like people take something that's good for you and then they just go way over the top.
Did they
Every
go way
day,
over
all the time.
Is it just because of social media?
I
Like
think it's a
you're
huge
just
part of it.
seeing that everyone does it all the time?
Oh, and well, I'm reading people's posts and their
Right, but
studies
back
and
in the
they're
day,
talking
maybe people, runners, basketball players, whatever, they iced their legs and knees every day, but you just don't hear about it because there's no social media.
sure, icing your knees, that's different.
That's their version of cold plunging.
Average athlete, weekend warrior guy, hitting the cold plunge every morning like he's just gonna be LeBron. I'm like, dog, ease up on it. Like, go cold plunge, that's fine. But like, I don't get the everyday cold plunge and the post and picture that goes with it after your 30-minute workout.
So are you mad about the cold plunge and sauna, or are you mad about the post?
Last year was a cold plunge. Now I'm on my sauna kick.
But is it the act of doing it, or is it the post about it that bugs you?
It's the overhypeness about it.
Because I've done it and it feels great.
I'm sure it feels great. I've done it too. I think it's great.
So you're sure it feels great, or you've done it and it does feel great?
Both. I've done it. Feels great. It's fine.
It was, yeah, I liked
It's
it.
fine. Like it's fine.
Okay.
But the next great thing 2 years from now, everyone's just going to be getting an IV at home.
Okay.
Every day.
So-
IV, juice me up. Just sitting in your chair, I'm juicing an IV.
What's the problem?
I think they
Things
take it
advance.
great, but I just feel like everyone's got to own a sauna now.
I'm not gonna lie. I would.
You
like
own
to
a
have-
cold plunge
I would like to have one, a sauna.
because
would.
you own a cold plunge.
Listen, dude. There's
You are gonna own a
my
sauna.
grandpa. He died when he was 64 years old. I remember him being an old ass man, and his pictures confirm that. He looked like he's 84. And I look at all the pictures, all the friends, everybody back in the 90s, 80s. They looked old, dude. Like 65 years old was an old man, and it's really not anymore. And a lot of that comes with advances in medical and nutrition and exercise science. So all the exercise and stuff like this, the cold plunge and the heat and the food we eat, and all of this stuff adds up to a longer, healthier life. So when you do things like this, in addition to everything else, probably a ton of it is eating and how much you sleep, Jake.
And I agree with all your points. I'll say that your grandpa, my grandpa, those dudes, like, they're part of the greatest generation to ever walk the earth. World War II
Yeah.
vets, dudes that blue collar worked their ass off. That generation is the greatest generation. And they looked old because they worked hard. People don't work that hard anymore. They don't work like our grandpas worked. That's why they were dying younger. That's why they look that way.
No,
In addition to what you're saying, the sleep, the food, the medical
my
advancement.
grandpa worked for the railroad, and I went to his office, and he was an office guy.
But before that, come on, man. Our generation, and even the one after, our kids, they don't work nearly as hard as my parents or my grandparents.
Well, I do.
From a physical labor standpoint, not
Oh.
even close. Way more physical labor. You got machines doing all this stuff now. Machines and AI and come on, dude.
Well, then
All
if
of
they're
that.
working hard, then they should just be ripped, just jacked.
Well, they
Gra-
were. They
Yeah,
were.
why would that make them old at 65?
Because they've been out in the sun and they've been farming and they've been railroad and they've been out on multiple World War II missions for years. I'm telling you, their skin and all that, and their hands and their body, lesions and cancerous things, all of that. A lot of that's due to their the way they were raised and what they did. Our kids are at home on gaming, bro. These kids are out those kids were outside all the time.
So was
in
I.
the dirt, in the river.
So was I.
And you look like crap.
I look great.
Anyway.
Okay.
I just think.
I think it's the post you don't like. It's annoying. And because you're like, I do hard things. I'm getting in cold water.
Oh, I do this every day. This is hard.
I-
I wake up at 5. I cold plunge. I sauna. I'm like, great, dude.
I know that it's like,
great.
you could say like cancer's hard. Running a marathon's not hard. Sure. If you're comparing it like that. But I'm telling you, Cocodona 250, that is hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, you can post about that.
Yep. Yeah. All day long. I'm good on the sauna.
Go jump in the ice bath for 3 minutes.
I'm super good on the sauna. But if you're a athletic social influencer, it's a high likelihood you got a sauna in your backyard. So
and you got it for free.
That just makes me feel like I'm good. Social influencer, workout guy. Go hit your sauna and maybe someone will buy one because they will.
It's the post you don't like. It's not the act of sauna, cold plunge.
Thank you for this therapy session.
Mm-hmm.
I think you found it. You uncovered it.
We should have couches in here instead of chairs.
I lay down on the couch.
Yeah.
Okay. Item number 3 before we get to Cocodona. And I had a whole thing on this, and I'm pushing it to next week because there's so much to unpack.
Okay.
The USATF long trail 82K for the U.S. team has been announced.
Oh.
Men's and women's long team. Long team?
I'm on the long team.
You are on the long team.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's 6 men, 6 women. The 2 men and 2 women that each placed first and second at Gorge 100K are automatically in, which most people that follow that knew. That wasn't like groundbreaking. It was just really cool when they won Gorge last month. But then there's a whole committee that select based off of resume. 4 men and 4 women.
Oh, it's not based off of the race that they pick, the qualifying race.
That's just top 1 and 2. That's it.
Oh, I see. And then
Only
the rest
top
of it.
1 and 2.
So that's an automatic bid. The other one, the committee votes in.
4. They
The other ones
select 4 more, and that whole team. So the team of 12 was released like a week ago, and it is awesome, fascinating. But I'm dying to break down Italy, France, Spain, etc., etc. And I'll tell you, it's growing. And this long trail, they have long trail, short trail, a few other races for the trail division of USATF. So it's USA track and field. So it's a USA track and field type like program. And there are some names on there that are not surprises. And there are some very, very obvious names not on the long trail list from the U.S.
Like they turned it down?
Yes. They turned it down, or they didn't submit their resume because they didn't want to do it.
Okay.
So we're going to break that whole thing down next week, which got me thinking about the 2024 Olympics. Steph finally plays, and it's the greatest basketball game I have ever seen. The greatest performance in basketball history in my lifetime was Steph Curry in the gold medal match against Serbia.
I recently rewatched that.
Me too. Oh my gosh. So USATF is bringing it, and they're bringing some cool things. I think so far we have most of what we would call the dream team for the 82K. It's very, very close to the dream team, but we're missing a couple very obvious runners. So next week on the pod.
You know somebody on the foundation, on the committee?
No, I don't know.
Hit him up. Get DC Peaks as a qualifier.
Sure. I'll hit him up. I'll call him after this.
Text him.
I'll DM them and I'll share my sauna experience with them and tell them why I'm qualified.
Do you want to share the experience of microwaving your shoes to dry them off?
Go ahead.
Well,
that is my first point.
Okay, go ahead.
I have top stories from the Cocodona 250 this year. Number one, weather. Has to be the lead story. Aside from Rachel Enticknap, what happened to Harry, et cetera, et cetera. Courtney. I was like, no, I think the weather is the first big story from this year's Cocodona.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, I was looking at the weather when I was packing to go pace, and then I texted the group, and I was like, is this right? Like, low to mid 40s and rain? Am I looking at the right Prescott? Not Prescott for you non-locals. Prescott, and then Sedona, and I was like, yep.
Oh, yeah.
They got snow at Eldon, which is whatever. It's fine. Like, I think when Arizonans say snow, it's like maybe an inch. I'm totally guessing. But there's no way it was like a foot of snow.
Yeah.
So, but they got snow, meaning got below zero, got below freezing, and they got snow. So that tells you how cold it was at night. 3 nights in a row. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all cold.
And you're wet. You cannot dry off.
Like soaking wet. It drizzled a ton, but it pounded.
Oh, downpour. Lightning.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you haven't, I just posted it on my Instagram, that video, literally in a cow pasture for 4 straight miles. It's like this connector. It's not even a trail. You're cutting across someone's cow pasture. There's no trail. There's orange flags for like 4 miles. It's by far the worst. It has to be the worst section of Cocodona, because I was out there for 10 hours with Elle, and I'm like, this is the race? This is
you
terrible.
got road and cow pastures.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is all the hype around the Cocodona 250? This sucks. This isn't even trail. This isn't beautiful. And then you see on the live stream, Flagstaff, Sedona,
The start of the
Crown
race.
King, all the stuff in the beginning. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just happened to pace the not cool stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then I got pounded on.
Yeah.
Hail, rain. And we were in you had to cross a road, but it routes you under the road, a tunnel that is not 6 feet tall.
So you're hunched down.
I was hunched down like this, going through the tunnel, and there was like 8 of us in there. And all the women are just walking.
Hunker down.
It was great. I was like, I had to come down here like a foot down. And then we sat there for a second, and it is down freaking pour. 2 dudes were in there who didn't get touched rain. Like, they got to the tunnel and just downpour.
Oh.
So they hung out. They're probably in there 10 or 15 minutes. We show up, a group or 2 before us, a group or 2 behind us. There's probably 10 of us in there. And everyone has pants on except Elle. She had shorts on. And we look around, and I'm like, what are we doing? And I looked at Elle, and I'm like, what do you want to do? And before she even answered, I go, we're going. She's shivering, dude. Like, shivering.
Can't stay in there.
And it's like a tunnel. Like, wind is going through this tunnel.
Hypothermia.
I'm like, no, we are not sitting here. We're going.
Well, it's been raining all day.
Yep.
Yes, it might let up a little bit, but you have to get the hell out of there.
So we were there for a couple of seconds, and we got out, and it's slippery, sludgy, mushy mud. And we get walking through this thing, and it is like rivers going through this cow pasture. Because it wasn't like there's any, I don't know, I think Arizona doesn't really have like, when it downpours, they don't have like a drainage system because it's a desert. So the cow pasture is about 6 inches of water everywhere. Water up to my ankles. Just, and then when it did find like a ravine and you were on mud, these little baby climbs, not even climbs, just, a couple steps, just slipping all through it.
Yeah.
It was quite the experience.
Yeah, you do that for 250 miles. That's rough on your knees and
Yep. Elle had a whole
Hips.
hip issue. She was fighting through. So slipping around was just jacking up her hip and then her like quad and all this stuff. Anyway, we were middle of the pack, back of the pack. And I'm thinking, dude, there are people at top of Mingus 2,800 feet higher than us
I saw them.
getting
I saw them.
pounded on and colder.
I
than
was
us.
driving down from Mingus to meet you guys at Fane Ranch.
Mhm.
And there's a section where you're climbing up and you kind of pop out on the road, I saw them pop off the trail, and I'm like, this dude had his rain jacket over his head, just like soaked, miserable. So, yeah, like heat also sucks. That usually leads to slower times. So I'm seeing on the comments on the live stream, people talking about the time, how quickly people were going. Well, it's not hot. Well, yeah, that's true, but they had their own special set of circumstances that were pretty terrible.
Yeah. So when I was watching it Monday before we flew down, I was actually like, jealous isn't the right word, but envious of like, oh, that weather is amazing, dude. That is the best weather. You barely have to carry water, barely drink water.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the sun went down and the rain was pounding, I was like, can I have the warm now?
Yeah.
So begs the question, do you want typical Arizona weather for Cocodona? Call it 80 to 90, sunny? Or do you want what they had this year, which is like cloud coverage, cool temps, but you're going to be wet and cold at night?
Give me the 80s. Give me that all day.
And just manage the heat.
Yeah.
Because then you're rolling at night. You're cruising. That night, I mean, that's tough.
And you know me, I don't like lightning.
Yeah,
Like
you are scared of lightning.
You're going. I'm like, they're gonna climb this mountain right now. There's lightning going all around us, and
We
I'm
were
like,
headed towards it, and
I know.
saw the lightning at Mingus. And
I know. I'm like,
hell.
what? They're gonna just go up there. There's other races. Remember the Ute 100? They're like, they pull that part out of it, or they start the race at different times. Like that's a real concern.
Yep.
And I'm watching this like just strike on the mountain. I know there are runners up there, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'll take 80 degrees.
95?
Well,
What's the over-under on temperature? 100
100 sucks.
or 95? Whew.
No, you said 80s, and I'll take 80s.
Okay, that's a little generous. 90? I'm trying to find the threshold here.
Yeah, that's rough.
Where do I set the line?
It doesn't matter for me. I'm not running a 250-mile race.
You're like, I said it, I don't go to ultra.
And what is it really? 256?
256, yeah.
Well, that extra 6 miles takes a long-ass time.
That matters.
I know that you're not going to call it the Cocodona 256. I'm just saying, recognize those 6 miles, those are hard.
Yep. So weather, certainly at the top of the list. My second biggest story that I'm pulling out of Cocodona 2025, Rachel Enticknap.
Oh,
Far and away the most impressive performance of the entire race.
even
of
with
race week.
Dan setting a course record. So did
Yeah.
she, but
Bro, Rachel set the course record and smashed it by like 7 hours.
guess
She
what?
was Harry last year. Harry broke it by like 8 hours. She broke it by 7. Yes, Dan broke the record by about an hour and 10, hour 20, something like that. Which, hey, can't take anything away from Dan Green. But if I'm going to pick the biggest story coming out of it and I got to put it on a pedestal, Rachel, number one, which is kind of awesome, funny
I love it.
for us. Because anyone that listened last week or watched the reels, we did not pick her to podium.
Well, we were flirting with her taking third, right?
We were flirting with it. She was obviously on our watch list. She won it in 2024, and she won it in what, 71 hours or something like that. And we were like, well, we're a little biased. We're going down there to pace Elle. I had no idea Elle had this hip issue. And so we picked Courtney, Mika, Elle, and all three DNF'd. Didn't matter, in my opinion. Rachel whooped everybody. 4th overall, and set the course record. So she DMs us, and we're just bickering back and forth. And she's funny, dude.
Could she be any cooler?
She's so cool.
She's so easy to cheer for.
Yep. She was like happy at every station.
I know. I'm like that.
Yeah.
She's badass,
Yep.
and she's an amazing runner. And she, throughout all of it, she's got a sense of humor.
Yep.
She's nice to people. I'm like very, very easy to cheer for her.
Yeah. Oh,
Just like that. Very much has my attention.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
we didn't pick her on the podium, and then instantly, she's like mocking your couch to marathon.
I love
it. You know, just laughing about it.
Yeah.
Dude, so funny. We are
I'm down
We're
with
fans.
I'm down with some good banter.
definitely fans.
We dish it out. I could take it.
Yeah, you got to be able to take it because
Yeah.
we put the reel out about her and Mika and this little rivalry from 2024. Mika leaving the course and coming back to the course, which I will say, a couple people at minimum have left the course this year.
Yeah.
And I heard on the live stream that you have to leave your tracker. You leave your tracker at the aid station. Leave, come back, grab your tracker, and roll.
Okay, but if you drop out, you also leave your tracker.
Yeah, in your bib. So doesn't change what happened last year. But Mika dropped at like
37.
Yeah, either at Crown King or Lane Mountain, one of the two. Yeah, right around 36-ish. She dropped. I have no idea what was going on.
I never heard.
Never heard. She dropped. Obviously, the next big story from the race was Courtney leading and just crushing. She drops at Mingus Mountain, mile 108. Digestive issues, stomach issues, intake just didn't feel.
Body was not having it.
Wasn't having it, so she drops. I would say is another pretty big thing.
I was surprised.
But at the end of the day, Rachel Enticknap is undefeated in almost 3 years of racing.
Did you see her moving at the end of the race? She was racing for overall podium.
Yes.
And it was a race.
Yeah. I turned the live stream on, and she was at the finish line, just happy, talking. I'm like, she does not look like she just did 256 miles at that pace either.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive. I can't say enough about her as a person and a runner. Very, very impressive.
Yep. I'm a fan.
Other big news. Max Jolliffe was racing top 10, top 12-ish for 3 days. He had one aid station to go and ran into some serious kind of medical issues. I don't know what they were. I don't know if they even released them. He left the course and went to the hospital. And
It's like at the finish line, almost.
he was before the last aid station.
Oh, I thought it was like, it's in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Like it's right there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
And-
thought it said that his tracker was 256.
Yeah, so I think because he ended up dropping.
I think he took his track to the hospital.
Yeah.
He
was-
ran 250 miles
No, he ran like 240 or something.
and had to go to the hospital.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. It was pinging from the hospital.
What happened?
So people are like, what happened? What's going on? This whole morning, it was like, yeah, he might come back and just finish. But right before we hopped on to record this, he posted and officially did drop.
The doctors are probably like, you're not doing that, dude.
Oh, I doubt he's listening to them. he's
I don't know. I have no idea what happened, so
Yeah,
I can't
don't know
speak
what
to it.
happened, But his post was essentially like, it's okay, it'll be okay, it's fine. You know, I made it to Flagstaff, but not to the finish line. I made it to the hospital in Flagstaff. So
I wonder what's up.
he raced a ton with Mike McKnight. And Mike finished, at 72 hours on the dot. 72.0000. Ninth overall, M8.
Nice. Good for
A
him.
top 10
Top
finish
10.
for Mike McKnight.
He's badass.
Yep.
What's the what are his other times previous years?
Mike's?
Uh-huh.
When he set the course record, it was 65 hours. And last year, I believe he improved on his last year's time. I want to say he was around 75. I don't know if you looked at it.
So the course changes. I always wonder, like,
Yeah.
not much to
Some
that.
people want to say that the course changed. It was insignificant this year. Like, it could be argued either way, and I think most people are like, yeah, you still got to go up and you still got to go down. There is a difference between going up this and down that, but, like, in general, it's not going to kill any time when you're talking about a freaking 3-day race. I think that's the general consensus.
Yeah, it seemed like following along at a distance that Mike had a really good race. He just was steady, did his thing.
So Mike was wearing this back brace thing. I told you he had this back issue like a month ago. He's wearing this back brace thing around his torso, around his stomach, on the outside of his clothing. And from what we heard, it was like had to compress his back to hold his spine and his back in so it relieves some pain. Well, that pressure was causing indigestion issues.
Oh, hurting him in the front side of
Like
it.
the front side, like the intestine, stomach side. It was causing abdominal issues for digestion. But he was...
So he just pulled it and had to deal with the back?
No, I believe he just kept wearing it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he just had to kind of deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah, found
Nice.
ways to get nutrition down.
One of those times from the past.
Yeah.
So 2022, 65 hours.
Yep.
In 23, 69 hours. Year before, so last year,
So
he was 79.
79. So Mike McKnight was 79 hours and cut 7 hours off his time.
Okay. So this
And places
week,
top 10.
this week he had a way better week.
Way better week. Yeah. Yeah. If you were to ask Mike, he will say, I still didn't put together a perfect race. I'm having a hard time putting together a perfect race at this event, and I don't know what's going on, but I can't string together 2.5, 3
Perfect days.
perfect days. So I'm sure he's a bit frustrated, but also very pleased with the field that was out there to
Yeah.
go top 10.
Yeah, dude.
That's a big deal.
It was nice.
So
Good job, Mike.
he performs. Great job, Mike. I think another big story that came out, 2 more on the men's side. Harry leading.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude went out like he was running a 50K.
I love it. I love it. He went for it.
Yeah, he was pressing.
You got to go for it, dude.
Yeah. What's awesome about his performance was he went for it, and then he didn't DNF.
Right.
He went hard and still finished 4th.
Yeah.
Like, that's super impressive. He ran in 65 hours. Last year he was 59.
Yep.
So he's 6 hours, but even on his very, very best performance, he's not beating Dan this year based off time.
Yep.
But Harry pulled through and had a great race, dude.
Yeah.
I love that he led. A lot of times you'll see guys or gals lead hard and charge, and it just
Crumbles.
It's make or break.
Yeah. That is true. He was hauling.
And he hung on. I think he dropped to like 7th or 8th at one point.
Yeah, he probably slept a little bit.
Climbed
From
back.
what I hear, he likes to sleep.
Yeah.
He'll mix in some good sleep sessions.
Yeah. So he did well. And I think the other big story I would say on the men's side is Finn Melanson. Holy crap.
Bro.
He was, I think, 7th last year. He predicted that he would be 8th. He would be like 8th overall, 6th male. And he was very close to his prediction.
He was dialed. I saw him at Whiskey Row. I've never seen him. I don't know him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was impressed. Like, that's a damn good race that he put together.
A phenomenal performance. He does it in 66:38, 66 hours.
Yeah, dude.
And goes 6th overall, M5, top 5.
What did he say he was going to do it?
time wise, I can't remember what he said he was going to do, but he beat last year's time by almost 4 hours, and I think he had thought he was going to beat it by 7 or 8. I can't remember what he said, but he knew he had a strategy going in. He had experience from last year. He knew he was going to do better, and he placed himself in the top 10, which he was freaking 5th, 6th.
Yeah. That was a kind of like Harry, like just a well, Harry's was up and down. Finn's was like a steady.
Yeah.
He was up in the front, kind of that top.
He was right there
pretty much the whole time and just stayed there and just rolled.
He ran between 6th and 10th the whole time.
When we saw him at Whiskey Row, like it was efficient. He had, we didn't talk to him, but I was watching him. He had a good aid station, like efficient. He had a good attitude. He was moving really well, and off he went. It was the first time I've ever seen him in person. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
No, he was all business. He was 80 miles in. He knew
dialed.
exactly what he wanted, where he was going. That was like 10 p.m.-ish or something, first night. Yeah, so congrats to Finn. And his crew.
Yep.
He absolutely crushed it.
Hey, tell me about this dude that took third. I've never even heard of him.
So the men's podium, Dan Green.
Yep.
Sets the course record, 58:57.
He in his 160-mile weeks.
160-mile training.
Props to him, dude.
Jeez.
He was so strong. Congratulations, Dan. Like, just wow.
Yep. Unreal performance from Dan. Ryan Sands, a South African.
Yeah.
Takes second. I did look up his stuff. He placed 8th in the Ultra Trail Cape Town 100K in 2023. And if anyone knows that race, it's a huge race in South Africa. Very fast, big race, 100K. And then he actually took 11th place in Western in 2019.
Oh.
So it's been 6 years now, but he ran a 16:08 Western. Clearly, he is fast.
Yeah, he can move.
And he put together a great race. He was right up there.
He took the lead for a second.
Yeah, he did. And then third place, Eder Ramirez. Eder, was probably how you say it.
He's a Mexican guy coming out of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, did you see him?
I don't know if he's Mexican. Hispanic.
He's from Mexico.
Is he from Mexico? Okay.
Yeah, by way of Vegas. Did you see him running down Eldon?
No.
Okay, they did a split screen. Because you know how there was a race?
Mm-hmm.
There was a race for third.
Mm-hmm.
He reminded me of what we were just talking about, your race at the end of Tahoe. We went and looked up the splits, and you did. You had the fastest time on the last aid station. I knew you did. And the way that you were running, that's how he was running.
He was going.
He looked so good.
He was hanging in there.
He was like, I am getting
podium.
Like he was, yeah. I was like,
So,
okay, dude.
I looked him up before this because I'm like, how do I not know who this is? Like, I feel like I follow sport pretty well. I looked him up and I'm like, I freaking know that guy. I ran with him at the Mogollon Monster in 2023.
Oh.
For 10 miles, like a whole segment. We got to the 100K mark, and I sat down and changed my shoes and hit a rock star, and he just rolled right through it. That's who it is, dude.
Oh, cool.
I know exactly who he is. So he's ran Mogollon the last 3 years. In 2022, he ran a 31-hour Mogollon Monster.
Okay.
For 31st place. Like, nothing to be like, oh, yeah, he's
Nothing
fast.
to write home about.
Nothing to write home about. The next year, the year I ran it, we ran it together, and he placed 6th in 2023. I was 9th, I think. He was 6th. So we ran a lot of the race together. But he beat me by like 2 hours. But I'd totally forgotten who he was, whatever. He's not a pro runner. Well, this last year in 2024, I remember watching the Mogollon stats and stuff and looking at it after because I was interested because I'd ran it. He took 2nd last year.
Okay. He's
He
getting
knocked
better.
2 more hours off his time and ran a 23:40 Mogollon Monster last year in 2024. So in 3 years, he goes from a 31-hour 100 to podium at Cocodona.
Yeah. Bring it.
Yeah, dude.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He also won the 24-hour jackpot ultras in February, first place. So he
First
won
place,
132
jackpot.
miles in 24 hours.
The Jackpot Ultra, that's the repeat, like last man standing.
It's a track. Whoever can run the most in 24 hours.
So he won that. That was his training run going into
Yeah.
Cocodona.
Okay.
Yeah, so that dude figured it out in a matter of 3 years that he's an elite level athlete.
He's also 39.
39. He's in his prime. 39 years old.
39 is nothing for ultra running. Dude,
The top 10, not a single one is in there younger than 30. All of them are over 30. Top 10 fastest times at Cocodona.
top 10.
Top 10 ever fastest times.
All of them are over.
Dan Green.
He's
I think he's 28.
Till now.
busted.
I think Dan Green might be 28. Yeah, youngster. So I think that on the women's podium, Rachel Enticknap goes 63.50 or 58, something like that. 63.50 sets the course record. And it looks like, as of right now, Lindsay Dwyer and Sarah Ostaszewski will wrap up our podium.
Yep.
So the women's podium, where we did miss all three of them, those are names we talked about. Those are names on our watch list. Not a surprise,
Not a surprise.
at all
Nope.
that the three of them are on there.
Nope.
Maybe it's a surprise that all three are on there.
Well, the fact that Courtney and Mika dropped out, who would you have picked? Them.
L.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's who we picked. But yeah, I mean, clearly you'd have to pick Rachel as like the returning.
You admitted you were picking with your heart.
Yeah, I was like, we're biased. We're picking the person we're gonna go pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the men's podium, I am actually shocked by all three. I'm shocked by all three of them. But since you don't read the comments and all of our stuff, there was a guy after we put it out that said, "Don't sleep on Dan Green."
Someone hit us up and said that.
Someone hit us up and said, "Don't
Who-
sleep on
who
Dan
was it?
Green." I don't know. I'll have to go back and look
Give
at
him
it.
some love.
But I read that and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it looks like Dan's pretty fast." But I was still like not going to change Harry, Max, Mike, like the guys we talked about. I'm like, "No, those are the dudes." Like I still would look at it and go, "Yeah, Max and Harry, man." Like that's
Jesse.
yeah, Jesse Haynes. I mean, Versteeg,
I know. What? I don't even know what happened to him.
he dropped.
He
at
was
like-
just
at
doing
like
good. Took his shirt off.
160.
Let's roll.
He took his shirt off. He was rolling.
How's old Cam Haynes doing?
Cam Haynes is going to go top 15, I think, with a busted foot and a messed up hamstring. And
Oh, I told you that dude's tough. He was going to
Yeah.
finish. He's got
did
the
not
Shaw
think
brothers and Adam
Yeah.
Wood
I did not think he would
crewing
finish.
him. That
I'm like,
that pumps me up too.
Yeah, he's not only finishing, but he's finishing in a really good time.
Adam posted a video
Mm-hmm.
of Cam. And I know you're on video, but I'm like, as far as they were into the race, he had a really good attitude. He was running well. I'm like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
Good job, Cam.
Yeah, he's just rolling. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's the key drops. So the key drops that came out, like as far as like athletes that people follow, Mika, Courtney, the men's side, Versteeg and Max. I think those were kind of
I cannot
the
believe.
contender.
I couldn't
names.
believe when you told me Max dropped or had to.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yep. These early race leaders, the strategy for these races, I heard a lot about it going into Cocodona, where like, do I take a risk? I don't want them to get away from me. Can I catch them? If you're trying to win or podium the race, it almost feels like you don't even have to like race in the top 5 for 24 hours. Just go enjoy your day.
You're saying something will happen.
Something will happen. Like if you're racing in the top 10 and you're 30 hours in, you just keep plugging along and being efficient at aid stations. The carnage in front of you will just move you up the ladder.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of my big takeaway is like, just hang out. And I said it last week, get comfortable. Just get comfortable in that first 24 hours.
Why don't you just pick your time and race to that time?
I mean, that's hard over
It's hard.
3 days, dude.
Well,
Now,
no, it's not. You
Try
have
to keep your splits.
no, it's not. You know, you did it at Tahoe. You pick what your splits are going to be, and that's what you're worried about. Except for at the very end when it becomes a race.
But I had totally forgotten what any of those splits even were. Nobody was reminding me at the crew spot. Hey, you have
No, we knew though because we were.
But no one was telling me, hey, you got 4 hours and 35 minutes to run this next section.
We sure as hell were.
Not me.
Yes, when we had 50 miles left at least because it was a race
But
at that point.
Strategy was, you got 2 guys right behind you.
Run faster.
Yeah, that's all it was, dude. It wasn't like.
But I'm saying at the start, and you run your race until it just is. It dictates that you either adjust and just race their ass now, or you're gonna lose.
Yes, like you were saying, Eder going down.
Oh yeah, bro.
And if you're in 9th place, you're probably cruising there.
Yeah, so you're right because it's. I said just run your race for the time, but you're a human being, and when you know that the other person just passed you and they're looking good, you're like, well,
either you can move or you can't. There's like, as much as I want to stay with you, I just can't, dude. Have a good race, man. Maybe I'll see you later. But the big takeaway from that is like, I am sure there were moments in Eder's like race where he was just like, you know, this hurts. I'm tired. But like, if I just keep going, holy crap, I'm going to find myself on the freaking podium ahead of Harry. Like, I'm going to beat Harry Supertis, dude. I'm going to freaking beat Harry and Max and Mike McKnight and Finn. Just because I'm just going to keep just rolling. Just keep going. And I think that's also a big takeaway for like Lindsay Dwyer and Sarah Ostaszewski, who are incredibly experienced at these multi-day races. I bet if you were to ask Sarah Ostaszewski, she probably didn't give a crap what Courtney Dauwalter was doing. She didn't care. She's just rolling her race, dude. And boom, podium. She didn't care.
a lot can go wrong
in a
that
3-day race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's. I mean, I'm preparing for a 200 miler in August, and I'll probably do another one next year. And I'm like, that was my big takeaway for a competitive side. If you want to compete in placement and that kind of thing, whether it's top 20 or top 10 or a specific time, it's like you can't pay too much attention too early to what people are doing.
Yeah,
now, there's
the too early part.
Yeah. You can't worry about, I mean, we were talking about it all day Monday. Harry flying, Courtney flying. And we kept going, it's a long race, man. A lot of race left. And
it's crazy because they're up by 16 miles or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, this sport is crazy. They're like, think about that. They're going to make up 16 miles. But that's so far. You know how long it takes to run 16 miles? But then people sleep or they just bonk or whatever happens. Like that's
mud, weather, they get cold. I mean,
that's why I'm watching a live stream of people hiking up a mountain. Like it still stays interesting.
Yeah. One of two things is going to happen in most of these races. This one got cold, so like runners literally got hypothermic. You know how much time you got to spend at an aid station that you did not plan for on your cute little spreadsheet? I got to get there, change everything, dry off, heat up, eat, reclothe, go. Oh, you had 15 minutes at this aid station, but you spent an hour and 15 minutes.
Sure. The unknown.
It's crazy. It's either that or the heat exhaustion. I can't eat. I got behind on my electrolytes. It's tricky. And the best at this sport are super adaptable. They can adapt on the fly, change on the fly, and just, I have a plan, but I can adapt.
If somebody wants to drop from this race, what's your advice to them? What do you always say?
Get to the aid station, Eat and sleep before you make that decision.
Just go to sleep.
Yeah.
If
Eat.
you have to sleep for 6 hours, do it.
Yeah.
And eat some food.
Michael Greer.
Mike, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
shout out to Mike Greer.
Shout out Mike Greer. He is around mile 175, I think I last watched.
He was at 108.
He,
Mingus
quote unquote, dropped in the essence that he verbally was like, I'm freaking done. And his crew convinced him to sleep. Just go to sleep. Decide later, man. He slept for like 5 hours or 6 hours.
Yeah, just sleep.
Because he was racing top 10. And now he's in like 30th. But he doesn't care. I think he's going to finish.
Yeah.
Late tonight or tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning.
The resurrection.
The resurrection of
I'm sure
of
that
Mike
that's
Greer.
not the only story like that.
There's probably a ton of those.
Yeah.
Which is these multi-day races, when you're a Mike Greer type talent, and that's what I like about the guys and gals that make that decision. He knows he can top 10. In fact, he might believe that he can podium this race. The fact that he is going to finish tells me way more about him. Way more about him. Because there are the Michael Versteegs. I don't know what happened to him. I'm not calling them out. I'm just saying he is a podium win type guy. He dropped out. Courtney
Like if I can't.
dropped out. Like, hey, Courtney, did you consider sleeping for 5 hours and getting some food in and digesting and then finishing? Probably not, because they're at just a different level. Like
I'm not going to finish this and take 40th place.
Yeah. And I can respect that when you're a pro athlete and your body literally is your moneymaker, like recovery and all this stuff. You know, we never have all the details, so we do a lot of speculating on our show. But from the outside looking in, which is the only information that I have, elite athletes are more prone to, like, if I can't win or podium, today's not my day. I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna save it for another time. Right or wrong?
I think it's right if it's your job.
For that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Like, that's their career, that's their job, that's their main thing. Like, they might have other jobs, because most of them have
Like,
job.
what do they have to prove? They're tough as hell. They've done all these races. You know they can do it. Like, if I'm going to jeopardize my future to just show how tough I am.
Yeah, but maybe not jeopardize my future, but maybe it's I'll have to alter my, because I can drop out at mile 108 if I'm Courtney, and I can just go jump into a race pretty quickly here. You know, I don't have to.
You mean the training?
They can change their schedule, their racing.
If
schedule for the
somebody's,
season.
their body just feels weird, rhabdo, or just
Yeah.
weird crap,
Yeah.
like, it's not worth.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Right, but I'm just saying there are things that can pop up where you're just like, I know my body. I'm Courtney. I know my body, and I know something is freaking wrong.
Yeah.
I know what it feels like to be tired, and this ain't it.
Yeah, she's not dropping because I can't take first place. That's not
No,
No.
and she's also not dropping because she's tired.
right.
So yeah, I think at that level.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, even not at that level, even L, we're like, dog, your hip is busted up.
And she's got the Triple Crown on schedule this
Like
year.
you're running weird. Your gait is off. Something is wrong.
She's got a hitch.
You got a hitch in the old giddy up. And yeah, like, what? You're okay. It's okay.
It's fine.
Reset.
Yeah, Elle and I had a whole discussion about how do you feel about DNFs? What do they mean to you? Why did you DNF? We had a whole DNF conversation in the sludgy crap mud before she made the decision to pull. So, yeah, I it's just something to think about. It's just interesting in our sport where you have like a Mike Greer type story. Like you said, there's a bunch of those, I'm sure. But yeah, eat, sleep, and then decide. I don't really, unless you are injured, we're deciding later. That, to me, that was the difference. That was my conversation with Elle. If you're injured, that's very different. Every single runner who has not DNF'd is still on course. No one's finished the race yet. So they're all hurting. Every runner was between miles 80 and 120 at that point in time. Every runner. So they're all hurting. They got a little this, little that. I can't digest this. I'm cold. Everyone's suffering. But that is different than being injured. So that was kind of the distinction, the difference that we made. But that was quite the experience. I'll say that going into it, my biggest fear was like it's going to suck me in to like signing up and I'm going to have. It didn't do that. It did not convince me that this is the next thing that I need to do. It's got me just as much interested as it was before, maybe a little more. I think I got hit with two unfortunate things. One, weather. Two, the trail, if you want to call it that I paced. It didn't make me want to go, I got to come run this. But then every time I turn on the live stream, I'm like, that's what I want to run. And that's what I want to run. Like today, they're showing the whole mountainside of Flagstaff on the red rock stuff from the drone. So awesome. And I want to go, and I so badly want to do Eldon with 240 miles on my legs. Like, what does that feel like? I want to do that.
Well, I should say most races are going to have a section that's like, you got to throw this in here to make the route work. And you got hit with that. The other part is like you were mentioning, they don't really show that part on the live stream. They do such a good job of the live stream, but over 250 miles, you're bound to have. You have to have some connector trails to
over 100 miles.
But 250, it's a whole new level now.
Yeah.
So they don't show that part probably on purpose. But I'm like, I can stand back and be like, like there's no way if you want this section and you want this section, you have to run through this cow pasture. Yeah, that's just all there is to it.
Today, that's the only way to get there.
Yeah.
Give it 5 years, 10 years, you get development, you get, more trails, whatever. But today, which I remember, I think I saw Jamil talking about this, he wanted it now. He's like, I want the Cocodona 250 now. I don't want to wait 5 or 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to wait till then. So, yeah, you got to give up some things. But then I took a step back and I was like, you know what, though? If I was racing this and it wasn't all sludgy, muddy, that's a different story. But let's just assume normal weather. This might actually be a really nice section to just cruise on the road, cruise on the sidewalk, run through this cow pasture.
Log some quick miles.
Yeah, like I think those are really easy miles in the span of a 250 miler. I mean, it's a tiny sample size. I saw 10% of the course on my own.
It just sucks that that's all you saw.
Yeah, but it's fine. Like we drove up to Mingus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was beautiful, dude. Because you climb up it, beautiful trees. You descend it, beautiful. Going into Jerome.
Yeah, that's a real mountain.
Yeah, like I just missed that barely. But it's got me very interested. The race opens up on May 20th, my daughter's 21st birthday, and I've got a decision to make. So right now, yeah, I'm very, very interested. Very interested in going down there next year.
Okay.
With a bib. We did talk to someone at Whiskey Row, and you asked Jeff Browning. So, watching all these runners, do you wish you were racing? Or are you like, oh, hell no, I'm so glad I'm not racing? And what did Jeff say?
He wished he was racing.
I was blown away by his response. I thought he'd be like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not doing it.
Well, that's his backyard.
It's his backyard, the competitive field, Courtney in the race was a huge part of it, I'm sure. But the men and women in the race, he was like, oh no, it's just Western ended up working out, and I'm going for the 50+ course record at Western, and so it just didn't work out. And then he said, but I'm racing next year. I'll be back next year.
Yep.
That is cool, dude. Jeff Browning in Cocodona next year. I'm already calling the way too early shot that he's winning it next year. We're going to have to see some real names, because that dude, he left something. It stings him still that he didn't win.
Of course. He's a competitive guy, and he had it.
He's going to come back at 55 years old next year and run Cocodona 250.
Well, it gets faster and faster every year.
Yeah, but I think the men's, so like I said it earlier, but I think the women's had the big jump in time this year, which everyone expected because of Courtney. And Rachel, her number one goal was to meet and run with Courtney.
Yeah, that's
and
funny.
She accomplished that in the first 50K. Side by side for like 30 miles with her. And then Courtney took off. But not taking anything away from Rachel, Courtney has a lot to do with that course record this year.
Pushing her?
Pushing Rachel, for sure. That's just what I think. I think that she has a lot to do with it, but Rachel has more to do with it because she's the one that did it. She had to take every step. It's her second year, so she knew where she could shave time. She had Courtney. She had all this ammo going into it. So I don't think that we're going to see more 7 and 8 hour jumps in this race. I just don't think there's that much more time to shave. So faster, yes. Like Dan
But
Green.
you said he's going to win it.
Yeah, I think he's going to win it.
And this race it gets bigger and bigger, and faster people keep showing up.
Okay.
So for you to say that he will win it, if it even turns out that he runs it, like that's a long way away.
Yeah. What men would you like to see in it who have not ran it? Have you thought about that yet?
Who have not run it?
Who have not?
Jim Walmsley.
Okay, that's an obvious. Is Jim ready for Cocodona
Tyler
yet?
Green.
I think Tyler Green is a great pick because he's 40, 41. He's still very fast, but he's not trying to like top 10 Western anymore. This might be the next step for him. Tyler Green would be freaking such a good pick.
Thank you.
Wow. Out of the woodworks. You know, Leah Yingling was in it this year. Mike knocked her up. So, she had to bow out of the race. I don't know if you can have a kid recover and be back next year, but it would be cool if Leah raced
Yeah,
next
I would
year.
love to see her.
She
there.
might be 2 years out. I think Mike McMonagle would be really good at this race too. Speaking of Mike and Leah.
He was down there.
He was down there. If he can put the camera down for 3 days, I think he could perform very well like Finn did. There are some other dudes out there. There's so many great athletes that have to be looking at this like, I think I could do really well. And if you're a pro athlete or an influencer athlete, whatever you want to call them, it's a great platform. Like Cocodona, that is a platform for airtime, chat time, people in the comments. Like, they're following. I would love to see the stats around some of the following and views and things that occur this week and next week from anyone that races in the top 10, top 5.
Oh, yeah, just a major boost. It seems like it's the speedsters, the Western States type runners, more than it is a UTMB hard rock type runner. That's why I said Tyler Green. Like, Jim Walmsley can do it all, but
Can't do anything, yeah. Hayden's too young. He's in the middle of his career. He's not touching this anytime soon if he ever does. But there's a bunch of them.
Okay, you just said Anthony Costales was on his way out. Get him in there.
He's got to finish a race first, dude.
Well, he would obviously slow down a little bit.
I know, but why does he keep bailing? It's like DNFing races for
I have no
2
idea.
years. Yeah, there's a whole list of them for sure. And then there's these guys like Eder Ramirez. He's gonna show up and
Like
take third.
David Roach.
Yeah, he's just barely got into hundreds a year ago, so he's still speed guy.
Speedy. Arlen Glick's fast, and he did really, really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. That Cocodona is much more. There's a lot more running, flat, undulated running than I think you would think.
I want to see some of the older runners that we used to watch at Speed Goat. Max King.
Yeah.
He's got a knee
Sage.
thing that got a yeah. I don't even know what happened to Sage Can today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anton.
Yeah. What are those dudes doing?
He's riding bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you got the list of like guys that are in the middle of their career, like you said, Jim, Zach Miller, Caleb Wilson. They're nowhere near doing Cocodona, I don't think. But
Courtney did it.
I wonder if 200s will become a little more mainstream, like not tail end of your career, but like middle of your career. When you're like top 10ing Western, you didn't get in or you had to defer or whatever, like hit Cocodona in your prime. What kind of times would we see?
Last year, you mentioned it had Jim's interest peaked.
Bro, Jim would go sub 50 hours. You want to shave another 8 or 9 hours off of this? Jim is probably the only guy.
I think he would be the best in the world. Out of anyone that you could possibly pick to run Cocodona 250, Jim would be my pick to win it. Without ever having done one,
Yeah.
I'd still pick him to win it.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't need to race a 200 to know that he would win it. Put him on Tahoe, put him in Cocodona, I don't care. He'll win and he'll set the course record by half a day. By a work day, by 8 hours. Oh. Okay. Quickly, we have the DC Peaks and Rockstar Riddle. You ready?
Ready.
High above the home of DC Peaks, where Patriots and Eagles meet, a banner waves, both bold and proud. Your golden ticket hides near cloud. Okay. Okay. I have a few closing questions. Does Cocodona deserve all the hype?
Trying to think of any reason why I would say no. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Because it gets all the love. They own an entire week.
They do a really good job of making it look so exciting. And then when you're there, it's what it is. A lot of waiting, and it's not really as cool as the live stream makes it seem.
Yeah. Made for TV. The TV is like, this is cool. This is entertaining.
That's
this
a
is
credit
fun.
to them.
Yeah.
But it's not that much different from any ultra I've been to. You go to an aid station, you get with a line of sprinter vans and campers, and you wait, and then you do your crewing. The sleep is different, but a lot of the crewing's the same. And then off you go. So it's like I don't know. Yeah, I'm a fan. I think it's pretty damn cool.
Okay, so it's like the comparison I'll make is, well, neither of us have been to the Super Bowl, but I don't really care if I ever go. 5-hour game, big event. I would much rather sit at home and watch it at home. It's cooler at home.
Yeah.
I got my couch, I got my kids, can be on my phone.
Yep.
I feel like I'm on the front row. Is Cocodona like that? Like, it's actually cooler at home on the live stream. No driving around, no weather, no whatever. It's like, I can just kick it right here, man, and just I can have it playing in the background while I'm working, and I feel like I'm at the race.
I don't know. It was cool to get to see all those runners that we know, whether we know them personally or not. Like, we know who they are. That was kind of fun to see them do their thing. And then I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Then
Okay.
you move on. But when you're crewing, you're just there, and that's what you do. So, I don't know who's going to just drive out to just watch the race. Not named. Actually, no.
I think only if you're pacing and crewing, you're going to go watch the race. If you're not pacing or crewing, you're just going to go to Flagstaff and watch the finish line. Like, that's probably a fun vibe.
It is. Yeah. The
Finish line vibes.
overall, I think that there's a reason why this race is so popular. It's all of the things combined.
Yeah.
And it's a really good one.
Okay. Last couple questions. Where does it go next year? Like, what can we expect from 2026 if you're just to crystal ball next year? I'm hoping to see this. Are we hoping to see Courtney come back?
That would be awesome.
Because to your point, she's in the middle of a dominating career. She's got some unfinished business. I don't know how she feels about that, but
Yeah, I mean, 2 years in a row we've had really big names show up. So I don't know. Unless you start, the only thing to watch for is, do you get some of those in the middle of, like we mentioned, in the middle of their prime 100-mile speedsters? Do they come over? If not, you're probably going to get more of the same. Badass runners, a lot of big names, similar-ish times. Hopefully we have better weather.
maybe we get a
Like,
maybe
you
that
can't
is-
really get much bigger than Courtney Dauwalter.
Nope,
So
you can't.
who could you possibly ask for that's bigger than that?
She's the very biggest athlete in our sport.
Yeah. So
What, her versus Katie Scheid at
yeah,
Cocodona
if
250?
that would be amazing. If you get that, then
Katie Courtney?
if you get that, and for me personally, you cannot get bigger.
Yeah.
Not UTMB, not Western, that would be, for
they
me
would-
personally, I would love that.
Cocodona, I think the future of Cocodona,
Although Western is packed.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I think that the future of Cocodona is somewhat has a glass ceiling. Meaning that I think that there is a ceiling to the number of elite name, big names that will be able to ever race Cocodona. But it's a glass ceiling in that, like, people think, oh, there's no ceiling on this. It's going to just keep getting bigger and bigger, more names. I don't think that's true. I think that this year, last year, we've kind of seen the number of big names that will be in the race. I don't see it growing beyond that. Meaning 5 to 10 names. It's not going to be 20, 25 big names. And the reason why I say that is I do think the Destination Trails and the Arizona 300, they'll find a way to get some of those big names in their race, which is like 4 weeks before. So they'll take some names and they'll pull from the Cocodona pool. And anyone competitively racing Western will never do Cocodona before. Maybe not never. It's highly unlikely because it's like 6-7 weeks out. And that would destroy potentially any top 10 hopes that they have at Western. So they're in a unique calendar spot now with Arizona Monster on the front end and Western shortly after it. So I think they're kind of pigeonholed into, like, you're not going to get all the big Western names all at the same time like a Western States 2025 has.
What do you think? What do runners want? Top runners. What is it that they're seeking? There's no NBA championship to get. There's no Super Bowl ring. So what is it that they want?
ultra runner of the year.
I've never heard anyone say they want that.
I mean, I don't think anyone comes out and says
Is it it's a UTMB title or a Western title? That's it?
if you're the very best,
Like what
if
what
you're an
i-
elite runner, you want, I would say, top 10s and podiums at, for sure, those two races.
that's the Super Bowl. That's what they're after. So anything that gets in the way of that.
UTMB is the Super Bowl. Yes.
So everybody is going after. They're trying to win UTMB or Podium UTMB or whatever.
So if that's their personal goal,
It seems like that's. I'm like, what is it? What is everyone after?
I would say
Pros.
it's UTMB is the big one.
Yeah.
So I guess in essence, in theory, you could say Cocodona could pull from Western, and Western goes down and gets less big names. They all go Cocodona, and then they go UTMB.
You could do that. I mean, it's
That'd
an
be
interesting time to say that because of the absolutely stacked field at Western.
Yes.
But I've heard people say like their entire year revolves around UTMB. Everything I do, all of the pre-race stuff, or not pre-race stuff, all of the preseason runs, the smaller ones, everything I'm doing leads up to UTMB.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is what they're after. So anything that happens during the year, Cocodona, Hard Rock, whatever it is it just to, I mean, they don't always do UTMB though. So that's why I asked, like, what do they want?
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be, any of their sponsors are going to have them in, specific races they have to go do. I don't care if you're sponsored by Ultra or, whatever. Okay. A shoe, an apparel, Sunto, whatever you are sponsored by, you have to go into a race or two that they say we need you in because we're the lead sponsor. So that's one.
Yeah.
Two would be any of their contracts that they have. They have bonuses at certain races. You top 10 or podium at these races, bonus cash. So, yeah, if Cocodona starts to be in those contracts of, hey, if you can podium or win Cocodona or course record Cocodona, you get this.
It would seem like they would want them to do that because
That's what I'm saying.
the viewers over 10,000,
The
11,000
Cocodona platform is crazy.
Yeah. So I'm like, push them to that.
Yeah. So if I'm Nike and I'm still sponsoring Tyler Green, and I know he's probably his faster days are behind him for a top 10 at Western, because Western is live streamed for 12 hours or 18 hours. No, definitely not 12. Yeah, it's like, let's call it 24 hours. That's cool. That's a long time. That's great. But Tyler Green and Nike can be the featured guy for 60 hours. Everybody's looking at his apparel and his shoes, and they're talking about Nike this, Nike that. Like, if I'm Nike, that's where I want you, because that live stream is massive. They're crashing their website for 3-4 days.
Yeah, saw that.
So I think that the media talks in views and likes and shares and that stuff. That's the way that we all speak. That's the marketing world now.
I like that Cocodona's so new compared to these other ones, and they're just crushing it. They're
Gobbling.
Yeah. I actually am a fan of that.
It's awesome. Okay, well, that has been a long week. And, people are going to go listen to this today, tomorrow, and the next day, and people are still going to be running. So cheers all the way to 125 hours of Cocodona.
Get this thing released and sent to one of the runners in there.
Oh, and they can listen to it while
Send this to Mike.
Mike Greer can listen to this while he finishes the race.
Keep going, dog.
All right. Everybody at Cocodona, keep plugging along. Hopefully you're listening. Stay tuned. Next week, we are going to talk USATF and break down the long trail. This has been another episode of The Next Aid Station.